I'm so pumped that this was invented after I started testosterone. Hey, what's up? My name is Kade. I'm a trans man on a mission to give sexual education to other trans folk and their partners. I'll be answering, what the heck is an FTM Stroker? Today, I'll explain to you what an FTM Stroker is / sleeve, the different styles they have, and a few tips and tricks on how to use them regardless of the size you have. If you have been on my channel before, you know that I review a lot of strokers. FTM Strokers are my favorite sex toy. It feels extremely affirming, and I've heard that from many other trans guys. For the trans masc people that decide to take testosterone, for the most part, a lot of them get
bottom growth.
To put bottom growth simply, after you start testosterone, your clit actually does grow, and a lot of people, especially in the trans community, call it bottom growth or T-dick, and that's personally what I prefer to call it. It basically turns into a miniature penis. That is where the FTM Strokers come in. To be fair, I've heard from quite a few different guys who are pre-T that they are still able to use strokers, and later on in the video I will give you my top recommendations, especially if you are on the smaller side. FTM Strokers are designed the same way that cisgender guys have their strokers. With the size, shape, and suction, it allows guys that are on the smaller side and trans guys actually enjoy things like this. Using things like this allows people to give that jerk off motion, and it's very affirming. As the years have gone by, the different types have evolved, so there are actually a few different styles. These two are extremely similar. I actually did a comparison in a video recently. I'll put that above. There are two basic different styles when it comes to strokers. There are open-ended strokers, and then there are close-ended strokers. Ooh. With each style, there are different variations that I really enjoy and positives to both kinds. Start off with the close-ended toys. Like this is the Perfect Fit brand stroker, which is basically the off-brand of the Buck Off, as you can see. Another toy that has a closed end is this suction toy, and it has a lot smaller hole than something like the Packer gear, like considerably smaller. But the texture is very different. This one has a lot harder firmness. This one's probably like the softest stroker among all the strokers that I've actually tried. Now let's talk about open-ended strokers. With the open-ended strokers, yes, there is less suction in general unless if you hold the back side. The huge upside to the fact that it does not have a back is the world of possibilities. Let me explain. With all the open-ended strokers that I have tried, each side is a little different. So you are able to experience two different textures in one toy. These three open-ended strokers, which I have reviewed all of them, are from Fantastic Cocks. This one's the Travis, this one's the Mari Stroker, this one's the Nixa, which is the most recent one that I reviewed and actually did a giveaway for. And to be honest, the Mari Stroker is my current favorite because of how firm it is, and each side, like it feels so good. So good. I like the Fantastic Cocks brand because of how big it is and the firmness. And of course, since it is the open-ended toy, the two different textures on both sides. Another brand that has open-ended strokers made for trans men is Lovesmith Toys. Here are three of the strokers that they have. I think they have a total of like 7 different types of strokers, which is really cool. So here's the back end of these strokers, the front end. I mean, if you couldn't tell, I really like strokers. They're so much fun. And if you can really like connect to that part of your body, I swear you are in a world of pleasure, Tanya. Here are a few tips to help you be able to get the most out of your stroker regardless of your size, and even if you're pre-T. Here is my first tip, and this is for the closed-ended toys, especially things like this. So here's a tip. If you want to use one of the closed-ended strokers and you are on the smaller side, because keep in mind this hole is pretty big, like, try this. Pretend like this is your dick, right? And then have this, and as you're putting it in, it's like almost like a hot dog in a hallway, but how to kind of help with that is press down hold your hand like this so it creates almost a tiny hole, allows you to kind of do your thing a little easier. I especially got that down on my first few months of being on testosterone. Now here's how to create a suction from the close-ended toys. Same idea, your dick, you know, have this, and you can either squeeze with your hand, like your other hand, and have this as like a free thing, or you can either put a bullet vibrator or put another finger in this side and pretend this is actually your finger and this is your dick. So pretend like that, hold it so it creates a suction again that way. Shake my head yes as I'm doing the jerking off motion. Yes. It's like a Chinese finger trap that you'll do, but with your dick. Another tip is get creative, especially if you are on the smaller side. So if you are pre-T, or if you're on the smaller side, just try to find one with the smallest hole possible so it can kind of really get your dick in there and you can still have that really nice experience. This is the gnome from Lovesmith Toys, and as you can see, it has a extremely small diameter, like even smaller than my pinky. Now if you want a close-ended toy, I would say get this sucker. As you can see, like the size is comparatively close. It's just this one is a lot softer. If you like the harder like firmness with a toy, go for this. Another way to utilize a toy is pretend like this is your dick, right? And flip these toys inside out like this, and you know, have your two fingers in there, your dick, just kind of rub it on there. It still gives you a lot of stimulation, but even if you're on the smaller side, having those ridges against you still feels really nice. Another tip is to try out different strokers. I have at least 8 different strokers at this point, and I like all of them for different reasons. They all work with my body different ways too. If you are like thinking about getting a stroker, I have reviewed all of the strokers that I've talked about in this video. If you would like to see a full playlist of me reviewing all the strokers that I talked about in this video, go ahead and check that out right here. Consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos like this. Peace.